All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Code A GSL August semifinals. The semifinals are half over with. Slayers Ganji is going to the finals. He's going to have a chance to battle it out to win a spot in Code S. He won't have to do any of those silly up and down matches.
Yeah, man, he took that away from his teammate.
Took it away from his team. That's pretty rude, actually.
That's like a really rough way to say it, but I mean, he took that chance away from his teammate. But that's just the way it had to be.
He's going to find something smelly in his bed tomorrow morning. I don't know. Let's check out some highlights for this players coming up. Leenock and MarineKing.
방패였고요. 맹독주 전방 바깥쪽이에요. 지원하기는 좋은데 화염차가 좀 공격을 많이 못해줬네요.
수도 있습니다. 게다가 제이멀티의 전망이 미리 설정이 돼 있어서
버리고 있었기 때문에
해병이 없죠 이제는. 게다가 테란의 병력을 조금 더 끌어들인다면 뒤를 막으면서
근데 뭉쳤어요.
뮤탈스가 늦어요. 게다가 임명선은 추가 병력을 못 모았었던 상황이라 이 병력이 거의 전병력입니다. 그렇죠. 수를 확인을 하고 상대방이
하지만 결과적으로 좋게 됐지만 이 앞쪽에 있는 병력이 투입이 안 되기 때문에 지금 마리는 잡힐 수밖에 없죠.
독립까지 제거해주려고 도와주러 온 거 아니죠?
느린 것을 이용을 해가지고 또 공격해주고 있네요. 12시 쪽에
어차피 사령부
움직이는 대로
유력병에게
자, 이러면서 자, 가면서 보여됐고
양방향 사방향
치고 갑니다.
맹독수의 업그레이드가 그렇게 자주 안 된 것 같습니다. 한 번에 많이
마리킹 많지만 타락기가 정말 많죠. 자, 먼저 공격.
그리고 화염차 이럴 때는
대기도 미리 하고 있었고요.
수비 조금 더 일찍 나왔어요. 그렇죠.
게다가 벙커가 완성되기 전에 해병이 잡히고 있어요.
조금까지
입구 보고 들어오고요.
옆쪽에
생산도 가능하고요.
그렇죠. 그리고 옆쪽에 위쪽으로 그대로 내려주고 있는 바퀴 맹독충 그대로 자 그대로 바퀴
맹독충으로
그렇죠.
막아버리겠다는 이거.
Wow, Leenock steamrolling some fools up in his house, beating Slayer's Boxer. I don't want to think about that though. In the round 32, Maka Prime in the round 16, and Yoda in the round of 8. So he has actually already taken out all Terrans thus far in this tournament. So he's been practicing all ZVT all the time for like the last month.
He has 2-0'd 3 very good Terrans. Now, of course, Slayer's Boxer is quite famous, and Yoda is kind of on the rise. Now, taking out Maka Prime is kind of like taking out an old school, one of the best players in the beta, basically. So, very impressive results here from Leenock. 2-0 for all 3 of those. Very impressive. Can he continue that streak in 2-0?
Definitely.
This guy, we're going to take a look at MarineKing's highlights.
이종훈 선수는
토르 이 타이밍에 토르 아주 효과를 보기 위해서는 그렇죠. 이 라인만큼은 무조건 확보를 해줘야 합니다.
네. 자, 일단 김명희 선수, 자 이종훈 선수,
카메라 조금 많이 보거든요.
양식장이요, 양식장.
이거
선수 양식장 그대로. 자, 여기서 또 토르를 잃으면 안 됩니다.
토르는 바로 벤시 1.4
그렇죠.
박가마기. 박가마기. 이거든요. 하지만 벤시 있습니다. 벤시
남아 있어요. 하지만 불리한 공격은 안 되죠.
끝없는 공격 본능이거든요. 많죠.
그렇죠. 자, 컨트롤도 이종훈 선수 컨트롤 잘하지 않습니까?
네.
저글링이
감싸는 완성이 되지 않은 그러한 타이밍에 또
그렇기 때문에
네, 그리고 이후에 벤시 또 준비하고 있는 이종훈 선수 중앙쪽에 교전.
맹독주 아무것도 못했어요. 그리고 이거 이렇게 이 컨트롤 타이밍 에너지를 못 쏘고 있을 수 있는 거고요.
네. 자, 여기서 지금 병력 계속해서 뒤쪽으로 후퇴할 수밖에 없는 상황이에요.
알려들어서 이거 피해를 주려고 하고 위치는 쉽지 않습니다.
위치는 이정우 선수가 좋아요.
치고 있는 이정훈 선수인데요. 야, 계속해서 끊임없이 공격하고 있고 줄자.
한번 당할 수 있겠습니다.
자,
이거 설마
그대로
근데요.
야, 이거
구지먹이
전면적이 이렇게 되고 있었는데
이거가 해명 관리 안 되면은
지왕이 없으면 이제
불곰들.
근데 이건 오히려 또 정지호 선수에게는 부의될 수 있습니다. 지금 뒤에 빨간색으로 해서 파란색 아니에요. 그렇죠. 또 콘솔 로봇 또
There he is.
MarineKing. He's taken out basically Xenax Hack and his host of Jogger, very new blood Terrans, basically. You know, they're kind of up-and-coming players, kind of like Yoda. They're kind of the new guys. Now, MarineKing, obviously, for those of you guys who don't really follow StarCraft 2 or just started following it recently, this guy's one of the best players in the world. He's been a several-time finalist at the GSL, getting second place multiple times. Just people call him the silver medalist king. You know, he's the second place guy. He's always been looking for this one. Now he's fallen down into Code A. Very unusual to see him here, but yet he's still crushing through. He's had a few close calls though in his run.
Yeah, man. He is definitely. I think the way Doa and I were describing it before, he's scraped by in his wins to get to this spot. He's like won, but he's just kind of barely pulled it out, and he hasn't really shown like the top level play. He hasn't really shown the totally Gosu play that he has been capable of in the past. I don't know if maybe he's in a slump right now, or so. I mean, you can't call him a slump, but he was in a slump leading into Code A, obviously falling down to the up and down matches, not doing well in the up and down matches. Anyway, I think, point being, I think MarineKing is at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Leenock has been playing extremely well this whole season against some high-level Terrans. So MarineKing has some proving to do. Let's find out who's going to win the first game. All right, here in the top right of the map, Crossfire is our Zerg player. He's been tearing through Terrans this season, has not lost a single game yet. Will he continue winning? He is.
FXO Leenock.
There he is. Adorable as he is. Doa clapped. I don't know if you guys could hear it. And here's his opponent, former silver medalist of the GSL.
MarineKing Prime Week.
MarineKing Prime Week, who actually went over to China and won the tournament over there a couple weeks ago, and I guess forgot his trophy or something like that, and Slog brought it back, so it's been just hanging around at the GOM house. We were like, oh look, it's MarineKing's trophy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that happened. Well, you know, both of these guys are very old school for StarCraft 2. Now, MarineKing did play in StarCraft 1, I believe using the ID Claire, who's a Protoss player in StarCraft 1. Now, Leenock and MarineKing both did quite well. We'll hold that thought because we may have an interesting happenstance here with MarineKing putting a second barracks very far forward, so he's going to be 2-raxing here with the second one proxied. But as I was saying, both these guys have played each other before. They've both been in the GSL quite a bit. They're, you know, they know each other. They know each other's styles quite well. MarineKing developed MarineTank, excuse me, style forward.
I mean, he named himself Boxer initially after Boxer because that was his favorite player. But when he changed it, he was like, "Oh well, everyone says that I only use Marines for everything, so I'll name myself MarineKing." And that barracks was really well placed, by the way. It was in a spot where a drone scout would not catch it. It was not along the scouting path of the Overlords. It was actually it was put down after the Overlord had passed that kind of area of the map. So it's not going to get scouted at all. I don't know if Leenock's going to be able to be prepared enough to deal with this. He has, of course, have his spawning pool almost finished, though. What is that SCV going to do?
Well, I'm thinking the hatchery, of course, is going to finish here. He's going to make a bunker at the ramp. Will he start a second one? It looks like he will.
Nope. Well, he might start a second one before that creep spreads too far. He might want to start a second one. There's another one. Does that... I don't think that blocks the ramp, though.
No, does not quite block the ramp, but the first bunker is going to finish pretty soon here, and Leenock is going to be in trouble. Because now any Zerglings who wants to reinforce down his ramp are going to start taking fire. Looks like these Zerglings are going to be just a little too late.
Is that bunker going to complete? Oh, it does!
Oh man, this is not looking good for Leenock, and with that first bunker finishing, the second one will finish quite easily. But look at this control by MarineKing. He may be able to keep these Marines alive. Killing all of these Zerglings would be huge, because then he could, of course, continue to reinforce from his main barracks, but he's going to, of course, not kill those Zerglings. But the hatchery is now under fire. MarineKing's got a very fortified position at the bottom of Leenock's ramp.
Yeah, MarineKing is able to assault that hatchery from that bunker, so that means the impetus is on Leenock to do something about this. He finds that barracks, he's attacking with those few Zerglings left. He's been picking off reinforcements from the barracks in MarineKing's main, but he just couldn't pick off the ones coming from that forward position.
Yeah.
And MarineKing actually supply blocked here for a
he's
moment.
been supply blocked for a little bit now, and I'm kind of surprised he's not lifting that barracks. Really wants to keep it alive, I suppose. Kill some more of these lings.
Oh no, MarineKing not microing those Marines. But it looks like the hatchery is almost down though.
Yeah, and he killed the queen as well here. This is not looking good for Leenock despite the barracks. Looks like the barracks is actually just maybe going to fall. It absolutely is. He's going to lose that barracks. But he's occupied those Zerglings for quite some time. The Broodlings coming out here, the Lings coming down the ramp. Nice timing by Leenock, but there are 2 bunkers so close to each other, he can just leapfrog from one bunker to the next.
Yeah, he's repairing the bunker, but it's gonna die, and he does. Oh, wow. A few of the Marines actually don't get out, and he's gonna try and salvage that bunker.
Well, now...
But the damage has been done. He killed off the hatchery, he killed off the queen, he killed off a number of Zerglings, but he lost a bunker. He lost a number of Marines. He lost 4 or 5 SCVs.
Yeah, with the units lost tab, it's about even. It's 1125 resources lost for Leenock and 950 lost for MarineKing. So pretty close there. I mean, he lost all those Marines, lost one of the bunkers, lost
the
his
barracks.
Yeah. So he's basically going to be following this up with 4 barracks pressure as he expands, which is pretty common to see after this type of pressure has succeeded. That's really MarineKing style. I mean, he is the king of Marines. So he's actually going to follow this up with a 6 barracks timing attack by the looks of it as he expands. It's not an all-in, but essentially he's going to be doing a timing attack to put more pressure on Leenock and potentially kill his hatchery again as he expands. So very common strategy. You know, it's usually you don't see Terrans at the highest level do stuff like this, but it is quite common actually to get aggressive with several barracks. Usually not 6, usually 4 is pretty normal.
Yeah, and does he have an extra command center in his base?
Yeah, he's made a command center, so he's gonna float it over there as he attacks. Now he's gonna be able to rally. This is something that SC used to do a lot in this particular matchup, where he would get 2 tech labs like this and just continue to rally 6 Marines forward every single round, 6 Marines, and then eventually they just become overwhelming. And Leenock would have to have a Baneling Nest to hold, but you know, he got his gas so late. He hasn't even gotten 100 gas yet. He can't get speed, and he can't get speed and Baneling Nest, and Baneling's just like not gonna happen.
I was kind of wondering why he didn't try and rush a little bit more to try and get Banelings as quick as possible. He just does start speed as soon as he gets his first 100 gas, but he is going to need to plant down a Baneling Nest very quickly, otherwise he's going to just die to this.
I think he actually is just going to die. I mean, given that MarineKing has made this many Marines, Leenock didn't react to the situation as properly as he could have. Now he's still mining gas with 3 drones, so I think he is going to add that Baneling Nest pretty soon. He's got 50 gas to do it now, so he's probably going to add that. Making 7 more drones, though. This is going to be tough. Now, combat shields are halfway done. By the time MarineKing gets there, the attack will start for a little bit, and he'll get those combat shields out. Interesting, MarineKing is... There's the Baneling Nest going down. So MarineKing is adding Marauders into the mix. He's got concussive shells on the way. He knows that Banelings are possibly, going to be something that's going to give him some trouble, but this nest is not going to be done in time, and I think MarineKing is just going to attack, move his way to victory here.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what Leenock was thinking. I think he thought he could delay more with those Zerglings, threaten a counterattack, but MarineKing is like synonymous with aggressive, man. He does not stop attacking ever, even if he's behind. That's just his style, so you cannot just sit back and hope that he doesn't attack you. It just doesn't work. Speed is about to finish, though. A bunch more Zerglings are on the way.
Look at this positioning, though, by MarineKing. The Zerglings will never be able to surround this position, and the hatchery is going to fall. It's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a timing attack. Kills the hatchery. Now his command center's up. It's been running for a while, and
he should fall back and wait for Banes, but he's going in with all of this Zerglings. A really nice position in that back corner. MarineKing taking out every single Zergling,
and
he's going to get some drones as well.
GG.
What?
Well, MarineKing bringing it back, man. Is he going to go right back into Code S? He's on his way there.
I don't know, man. So far, I've been wrong about pretty much everything in these semifinals as far as who was going to do what. So Leenock, he's like smiling. He's like, oh, come on, WTF.
Well, I mean, that was an unusual build.
You know, I actually remember the first season I casted, Leenock was in the, I don't remember if it was round 32 or round of 16. I think it was around 32. And he was playing against a Protoss player. And the Protoss, like, moved out, and like just as he moved out, or no, just before he moved out, Leenock built 14 drones, and I was like, no, those need to be roaches or you're gonna die, and he died. And that was the last game. It was game 3, got knocked out, and when I saw him build those like 8 drones when like MarineKing was like walking across the map with like a bunch of Marines, I'm like, Leenock, what are you doing? You're doing it again.
Well, I mean, also, he should have made the baneling nest earlier.
Way
because
earlier.
this is something that Zergs will do, where they'll make a baneling nest in this type of scenario, not to be aggressive, but they just make it. They don't use it unless they have to.
Yeah,
And if Leenock had made it earlier, then he had been able to use it. He might have been able to hold. Maybe. I mean, it would have been still very difficult, but making the baneling nest in itself earlier would have given them time to make the banelings, and then probably would have held that a little bit easier.
Well, imagine that situation. MarineKing's backed into the corner behind the minerals, right? Imagine that situation where instead of just attacking with a bunch of speedlings, you've got banelings there. That is the perfect spot for Marines against Zergling.
Exactly.
It's the perfect spot for baneling against Marines. So, I mean, all he needed would maybe half a dozen banelings mixed in there, which he could have had time to morph if he'd gotten it earlier, and that would have been a way different story. I don't know if he necessarily would have won, but he would have had a much better chance of holding things off, even with the 2 Marauders there, if he controlled well. So, I like I said, MarineKing, his style, he never stops attacking. Even if he loses a battle, he still like goes out and attacks again, even when it's kind of silly to do so and you need to defend. He still attacks all the time. That's what he does. So I don't know why Leenock thought he would not attack with his big ball of Marines.
I mean, it's very true. MarineKing's style is normally that. No, Leenock didn't see like the 6 barracks inside of MarineKing's base, but you have to prepare.
Fair enough.
You have to prepare.
Fair enough.
You have to prepare. You have to prepare for these types of things. If someone does something like that, you need to have a baneling nest. You don't have to use it beforehand, but if you have the nest, you have the potential to, when you see those units moving out, you're like, well, I need like 6 banelings or I'm just going to die. You need to have that possibility, that chance. But anyway, we're going to load up Game 2. It's going to be on Metalopolis.
Yep. We're going to get into the game very quickly here. Is MarineKing going to bring it to a 2-0 lead, or can Leenock bring it back and tie up the series? Let's find out.